On Monday, the U.S. Supreme Court will hear arguments on whether laws punishing homeless people with civil penalties violate the Constitution. The case centers around Grants Pass in southern Oregon. Fox 12 national correspondent Josh Wiltenberg has a preview.
Grants Pass, Oregon, population 39,000, has become the face for a Supreme Court case surrounding the homelessness crisis. Officials say they are trying to combat the growing problem of encampments, but courts have tied their hands. In a statement, the city's attorney says the tragedy is that these decisions are actually harming the very people they purport to protect. The city of Grants Pass claims it does not have enough space and shelters for their homeless population. At the same time, its laws impose civil penalties, including fines, on people sleeping outside on public property. If the fines are not paid, they can become criminal charges. That is something lower courts have ruled is illegal.
There's nowhere for people to go, and the city of Grants Pass, instead of focusing on things that end homelessness, like housing, started giving out $295 tickets to people sleeping outside for using things like a blanket in the middle of the winter. That is the definition of cruel and unusual, and that's what this case is about.
If the court sides with Grants Pass, it could change how cities across the country deal with homelessness. Thursday, lawmakers and advocates opposed to Grants Pass called on the justices to protect people they say cannot protect themselves.
Choose housing, not handcuffs. Choose compassion, not cruelty. Choose love for all of humanity, not a disregard for the downtrodden.
A decision is expected by the end of June, and regardless of what the outcome is, organizations like the National Homelessness Law Center say Congress and President Biden need to do more to ensure everyone has access to housing. In Washington, I'm Josh Wiltenberg.